What is up, everybody? Welcome into the Bat Flip, where we discuss everything baseballs. I'm Landon Raby. With me, little Duce Thomas in the house. Hey, first show being number one. Fired up.
Feels good, man.
It does feel
Feels
good.
real good.
Guys, before we get into everything, just want to give a good shout out to our good friends at Iguani Farms Golf Course. Iguani Farms ranks among the most popular Knoxville area golf courses to host golf events, outings, and tournaments. The course offers a wide range of challenge and playability for golfers 3 times a day online at iguanifarmsgolf.com or by phone at 865-970-7132. The course is in great shape. Guys, go give them a shout and get to playing. Weather's getting better. Pools are starting to open up. Nothing like going to the golf course, getting all sweaty, playing a great round of 18 with the boys, then heading to the pool after.
Yeah, good old little pool shower.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just rub a few spots. You're good.
Yeah. That's all you need. All right. The Vols, number one team in the country, feeling good. Here's where I stand on the number one ranking. I talked about it a little bit last night on our show. It is what it is. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh no, don't give it to us. Like, we don't want it. We're the number one team in the country. Like, we are. Everybody else kept losing. We kept winning. I don't know who else you would give it to in that scenario. You had to give it to Tennessee. Is there kind of issues a little bit with this team? Yeah, but I don't think there's a clear cut best team right now. And when you're looking at who's winning 7 straight SEC series, it's the Vols.
Yep.
It's the Vols. So, good weekend of baseball. Got the doubleheader on Friday. You'd love to get that sweep in there. The offense just didn't show up a little bit in that second game on Friday, but they came out in the 6th inning on Saturday and made Florida wish that the whole series would have got rained out.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So, what was your kind of take on the weekend there Ducey?
Same thing you said. You'd love to sweep. You kind of, feel like we had pitched well enough to still that game, but we've kind of shown that sometimes the bats just don't show up, and you still won the series, so you can't be too mad about it. You went down to Florida, took a series. You took care of business, and kind of a doubleheader is always tough, and you split that, but then you take care of it on Saturday.
Yeah,
in a big way.
Absolutely. I mean, Tony Vitello just gets it done in Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a tweet from our good friend Ben McKee said Tennessee has now won 4 consecutive series in Gainesville. Tony Vitello improves to 7-2 in the Swamp and 14-6 overall against Florida, 5-1 in series. So, absolutely dominating the Gators since Tony Vitello took over. And it's just been nice. It seems like Tennessee being good has like tanked this Florida program a little bit. Now I know they made it to the national championship last year, but I mean they're not a good baseball team. Like They did not reload at all. They do have some talent. Jack Caglione is one of the best players in the country, but for whatever reason they just can't put it all together. I thought they pitched really well until Saturday's game, obviously, but and even that, it was the 6th inning that everything just kind of broke loose. But until that, they struck out 16 in that second game on Friday, and then the first game, I think they struck out 12, or 12 or 13, one of those. So I thought they pitched really well. They just don't really have anybody besides Caglione that can really hit the baseball consistently.
Yeah, it just seems like every series we somehow find a way just to pull it out, and we've won ugly, we've won dominating. So anytime you just continuously win series, that is just a huge momentum, and we're just grinding it out.
Yeah,
the Vols are hot, baby.
It feels good.
It does feel good.
It feels really good. Well, I do want to talk about pitching because you mentioned that, and I think a couple weeks ago we're like, if Tennessee can just get the pitching right, we have a chance.
Hmm.
Now it's like pitching is kind of our strength. The offense has cooled off a little bit. I'm sure there's a little bit of fatigue there, but I mean, guys like AJ Causey, Chris Stamos, Drew Beam pitched really well on Saturday. Just gave up a couple runs that offense should be able to overcome pretty easily, and just didn't. I mean, there's nobody in the country that has worse luck with their offense not producing than Drew Beam.
It's unbelievable.
I don't know what he's done to this lineup, but I mean they are giving him no help whatsoever. But then Nate Snead, Xander pitched really well in that final game, and that was the difference in the series was Tennessee's pitching.
Yeah, 100%. Causey in his new role has been unbelievable. I mean, ever since Tony kind of switched it up for him, I think it's kind of flipped a switch, and he's slinging that thing, man.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job. I think Stamos is doing a good job too. I think every outing gets better and better for him.
Yeah. 3 innings, 4 Ks, 2 earned runs, 3 hits, and then Causey with 5 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 7 strikeouts. I mean, he's pretty nasty with it.
It's gross.
Yeah, I mean the sidearm thing always kind of worries me a little bit, but he's got some like filth to his. It's not just like a slider
Hmm.
fastball. He's got some. He throws a curveball in there. Or I guess can you consider it a curveball if it's not
Yeah.
over? I don't know, but whatever it is, it throws the hitters off, and they aren't ready for it, and he just keeps dominating. I mean, it just seems like the perfect scenario happened when he wasn't playing well. Hey, we'll just like not start you, and it's like the same thing with Chase Burns. It's just enhance their play.
Yeah.
And it's worked out great for Tennessee. They're not able to, they don't have to really get in the bullpen very much. I know they don't have a ton of arms that they can rely on, but the ones that they're using are pitching really well right now. So, hopefully you're able to get AJ Russell back. That looks like it's getting close where he could come out of the bullpen. And, I think that's just going to be an added benefit for Tennessee and this pitching staff and this. I mean, the lineup, the way it looked on Saturday in those later innings, that's the lineup that can win you a national championship.
Yeah. Yep. It just feels like everything that Tony kind of rolls out there is just so far worked. So hopefully it continues to do so.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get into the second game, or I guess the first game a little
Okay.
bit. We talked about AJ Causey some. It was kind of a grinded out
Hmm.
kind of win. I mean, the first two games, the bottom of Tennessee's lineup didn't produce at all. And we've talked about that, how that's when they're able to get some production, that's when you're able to see the crooked numbers in innings. In the big innings like you did in the 11th, where they're able to get guys on base, guys in the bottom of that lineup are hitting the ball like Hunter Inslee. But before that, I mentioned the 13 strikeouts in game one. I mean, Tennessee's top four hitters had, let's see, I'm not great at math, 10 out of the 12 hits.
Yeah.
And then in the first three batters in game two had 5 of the 6 hits. So it was the top of the lineup that was doing kind of all the work for you. And then, when you see that third game score and it's 16-3, it's because of the bottom of the lineup helped. So you got to figure out kind of what they're going to do with. I know Kavaris Tears was injured a little bit. Him DHing, I think that's probably not a huge, lingering injury. He should be back pretty soon. But when he gets back and playing in the field, that DH role is like up for grabs. I mean, there's no one really just capitalizing on their opportunities. Colby Backus got a start in that last game and, struck out, and then he had a fielding blunder and then got benched for it. But I mean, Reese Chapman struck out like five or six times this weekend. Dalton Margot had a game where he had 3 strikeouts. Robin Villeneuve pinch hits, and I didn't love that, but I mean, he strikes out 3 times in a row. It's just, it's one thing to not get a hit. It's another thing to just strike out the amount of strikeouts that they're piling up at the bottom of that lineup.
Yeah, and it's not even good AB strikeouts either. It just seems like if you get just a little bit of help from the bottom of your lineup, you don't need much. We don't need 2 guys to go 4 for 5 with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs.
Mm-hmm.
Just help a little bit.
Yeah.
Just give us a hit here or there. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you do, you win those games. I'd
Yeah.
like to look back because I'd say any game where we've had bottom of the lineup production, we've probably not lost.
Yeah. I mean, it would be hard to pick out one because the games you've lost, it's been a low scoring affair. Those higher scoring games, Tennessee finds a way to win. And a lot of that has to do with the bottom of the lineup. So, I mean, they've kind of figured out the catcher spot. Cal Stark has earned that. I think he's hitting the ball a lot better than
for sure
people think. I mean, I don't think he had a great series this weekend. He had a couple hits in that last game, but I mean, he gives you so much defensively.
Mm-hmm.
But if they can get some production like they did out of Hunter Ensley on Saturday, it's scary.
Yeah.
That's what you need. I mean, I'm not asking him to go 7 RBIs every game, but you need some of that production in the bottom of that lineup. So I think they're kind of hurting right now. Like, who is going to take that other spot when Tiers is back? Is it Chapman, Bargo, Peebles, Robin? I mean, there's 4 guys right there. Backus can get thrown in there too. I think he's earned some opportunities. So there's 5 guys right there fighting for one spot, and no one's really just claiming it.
Yeah, I mean, you're giving everybody. I mean, everybody's got their fair share of a shot at it, but nobody's kind of, took the driver's seat. So it's disappointing because you've got the talent there, and you've seen these guys perform. You just need one guy to just,
yeah,
hit the ground running. And maybe, I mean, now's a great time to get started. But back onto Stark, man, he gives you so much behind the plate. I do agree that his ABs are getting better. I think he's making more contact with the ball. I think he enjoys getting hit. Which, hey, if you strike out a lot, I would love to get hit too.
Dude, no one gets hit more in college baseball than Cal Stark. There's no way.
It's unreal. That elbow pad has got to be beat to hell.
Oh yeah. I mean, he probably has to get a new one all the time. It's probably shattered. Yeah, I don't know why he's a ball magnet, but he is. I guess that's just a catcher thing about him. But yeah, he gets hit more than any, and it's great because it gives Christian Moore an opportunity to get some RBIs because I mean the last couple games before that, you couldn't get any production out of the bottom of the lineup. Christian Moore, there's no one on base when he was up. He had how many did he have? 7 hits this weekend. He only had 3 RBIs because he didn't have anybody on base. Yeah. I do want to talk about that stupid rule.
The base running thing.
Yeah, what?
I hate that so freaking much. I mean, dude is sitting on the top of the bag. What is he supposed to do?
Yeah. And like he goes like toward the line to go catch the baseball.
Yeah. Like there's no way, even if Christian Moore is just tiptoeing on the line, on the chalk, there's no way he avoids him.
Yeah.
And I wish he kind of would have hurt him. Just throw a knee into the chin or something. If you're gonna if they're gonna call you out, you might as well get your money's worth.
Yeah, I think maybe he he could have done that. I feel like Tony probably definitely gets tossed if that happens.
Oh, for sure.
But he came out there livid, and rightfully so. Like, you
Yeah.
have to. I mean, what else do you want your players to do there? And I think the umpires understand it's a stupid rule,
Yeah.
and they did call it, but I feel like they realized in the moment, like, Tony, we get where you're coming from. You're right, so we're not tossing you. I don't know if that's what it was, but that's what it seemed like, because he's gotten tossed for a lot less in some of these games.
Oh,
So
yeah, for sure. I do think it set the tone for that last game, though.
yeah, there's some chirping, a little bit
Yeah.
of us being the villains again. It felt right.
Mhm.
And like this series is a rivalry, and it
Yeah.
has been for the last couple of years. We haven't been super competitive before that, but I think every time you play Florida in anything, you want to beat them, and I think the same Florida. Anytime they play Tennessee, they want to beat them.
Yeah.
And they got us last year, and we're able to get them back in the swamp, and that Tennessee just needs to keep winning. I mean, do I think they are going to be the number one team in the country come the end of the season? I don't know. But they got a great opportunity to beat little brother this weekend with Vanderbilt, and then South Carolina at home to finish things out. And Tennessee doesn't really lose at home. So loving what we're seeing. And I don't know. A lot of people have asked me about the number one ranking, and I don't really know what to say other than who else were you going to give it to if not Tennessee? I understand you lost to Lipscomb, but I mean, we're sitting here like trying to get Florida in the NCAA tournament. They're 23-22. Like, those midweek games don't mean a whole lot, but when you lose too many of them, they should add up.
Yeah.
And go against you.
Yeah, I agreed 100%. I mean, you were in the right spot at the right time, and now you're number one. Do I think we're number one? I don't know. I can't say no, but I also couldn't say yes if you asked me straight up. But you are.
Yeah.
It's beside your name. So ride with it.
Yep. Saturday, again, we've kind of mentioned it a little bit, but Drew Beam, I thought pitched good enough to win. 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walks, 4 strikeouts, and just weren't able to get back into it. They jump on us early, kind of come back late with a Billy Amick home run. You thought, like, okay, like this could be something, and then get runners on late in that game, made it interesting, and just weren't able to get it done. But that's when they're probably kicking themselves about keeping a team like Florida at 4 runs, only 3 earned, and you gave up a crappy run there on Saturday too. I don't think our defense is on top of things this weekend.
No, I agree.
Had some missed opportunities, had some stuff that just can't happen. But you look at Florida, they had the same thing. I mean, on Saturday we had a strikeout. Kavarius strikes out and ends up scoring 2 runs. I mean, I've never seen that happen before in my life. But yeah, so it was just not a great defensive effort by both teams. But at the end of the day, I think Tennessee has more star power, and that was the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you see it series in, series out.
Mm-hmm.
We got the lineup.
Yep.
Just need that bottom of the lineup just to help you just a little bit.
Yep. I thought somebody who kind of impressed me this weekend is Dean Curley. I thought he hit the ball well.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like at Florida, that's not an easy place to go into as a true freshman. But it didn't seem to bother him at all.
Mm-mm.
And Ariel Antigua is the smoothest shortstop I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just smooth.
If they can get that bat going for next year, I mean, he's incredible.
Yeah, he is. It's fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
He makes everything look so routine.
Yeah, and then on Saturday it was the Hunter Inslee show. 7 RBIs, 3 hits. He had
Good for him.
oh yeah, I
Needed
mean,
that.
definitely needed that going into the back half of the season, and he was a guy like a lot of the fan base was just like, hey, it's time to move on. Like
Yeah.
we need somebody else to step up and take that spot. I think he's benefited from no one really taking over that spot, and just continuing to have a really good glove. But he does kind of everything you ask him to do, and it hasn't been a fantastic season like probably he wanted to, but I mean, what a way to get going rather than a rubber match against Florida in the Swamp.
Yeah. It was huge, but yeah, he's just kind of a blue collar guy. He gets it done.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe gets hot. Great time to get hot. Great time for anybody to get hot. But yeah, just a huge game from him. I mean, put us on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Drain the swamp.
I mean, 7 RBIs. Florida had 3 runs. I mean, Florida had 9 runs. I think Ron Schumbert said there was only 7 earned runs, and Tennessee had 11 runs in the 6th inning on Saturday. Pretty incredible stuff. But Hunter Inslee was able to get us on the board first, and then he gave us the lead in the 6th, and then kind of put the icing on the cake later on in that inning with the 3-run home run. And then, like, to make matters worse for Florida, Christian Moore and Blake Burke go back to back in the 7th. It's just like any hope of continuing that baseball game just
Done.
out the door. Yeah.
And then Burke with the daddy pimp, that little he did that little flick of the wrist.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I bet that feels good.
I bet it does. To hit a ball that far, knowing it's gone as soon as it leaves the bat, that you are able to flip the bat like that. I don't know what that feels like. I've never had that done before, but I imagine it's pretty incredible feeling.
I've seen you hit a pitching wedge that far.
Yeah. Yeah. I've definitely hit that far. I can't hit anything else that far, but I can hit a pitching wedge somehow, some way. All right. Well, big weekend. Let's go MVPs of the week.
Okay. I'm gonna go just with an easy one. We talked about it last week. We've done it multiple times. I'm gonna go Christian Moore. He's just
easy.
It's just steady Eddie. Like,
when in doubt.
Because there was multiple guys that you could have gave it to this weekend. But man, he's just. I mean, it's just normal now.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just like permanently got an MVP beside his name. But if he gets a little more help, get some guys on base, then RBIs are going to go higher and higher and higher. Because he had, he's 7 for 15.
Yeah,
just stroking it.
Yeah, so I mean he just continues to rake, and even though if he's not putting up just like huge RBI numbers, he seems to always be on base.
Always. And every time he steps in the box, like, he's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I took the easy way out this week. Christian Moore, MVP.
Okay.
Who you got?
Like I'm going to go Hunter Inslee.
I like that.
Yeah, 7 RBIs in that in that game 3 of the rubber match there on Saturday. 3 hits, including that 3-run home run. I just think like he needed that probably more than anybody in the lineup, and just to get going like that just gives that lineup another element to it, and hopefully he's able to carry that momentum into Nashville, because that would be awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's going to be huge for him, just to kind of carry the team on your back.
Yeah, another guy that I'd like to just give a shout out to, Nate Snead.
Yeah,
continues to dominate out of the pen. 8-1 on the season, which
huge,
pretty incredible. Also, Tennessee giving Jack Caglione his first loss of the season just was music to my ears.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he 5 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Again, just a good lineup that he faced, and he was able to just shut him down. And he just seems like the more he pitches to, kind of like Stamos, the better he gets.
Yeah, I love the direction that your pitching staff is going in.
Mm-hmm.
because, like you said a few episodes ago earlier in the season, we were talking about that being a major issue for us, and it seems like it's kind of working its way out. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Next up, you got the Cheating Boys in Nashville, and just make sure you have a sticker on the bat. That's all I'm asking for Tennessee. But yeah, you should go. That's a team that I thought Florida would play kind of desperate this weekend, but it seems like they just kind of laid down at the end. Vanderbilt's a team that I think might have laid down this week, and they might be done. I mean, maybe it helps that it is a rivalry, Tennessee with the #1 ranking coming in there. But I mean, they just got absolutely twaxed by Georgia this weekend. And I still can't believe Kentucky beat Arkansas.
Yeah.
It's weird. Arkansas, like, they have really good pitching, but their lineup is not that great. I honestly think the two best teams, well, A&M's good. I think the two best teams are Tennessee and Kentucky. That's me not watching a whole lot of A&M yet, but I know they're kind of the opposite of Arkansas. They have a really good lineup and not a lot of pitching. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how it plays out. But Tennessee's one game back in the East and one game back in the SEC to Kentucky. But still a lot of baseball to be played. And let's go to Nashville and sweep that ass.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep. Guys, thank y'all so much for listening. We'll be back next week talking about Tennessee baseball, heading to Nashville, and then upcoming series against South Carolina to end the season. And have a good week. We're out.